Come aboard to Our Place, Our Time. We're going sailing with the racing skipper who everyone agrees is the best in Hampton Roads. We'll look ahead to some summertime adventures you may not have thought of but will want to consider, and we'll have music from Connie Parker. Here's your host, Vianne Webb.
Every sailboat ought to have a musical name. This sleek beauty is called Prelude, and it introduces us to the man everybody says is the champ. His name is William Sled Shell Horse. In cruising class sailboat racing, Shell Horse, his 10-man crew, and Prelude are considered the very best in the lower Chesapeake Bay. What's more, they're beginning to enjoy a national and international reputation for sailing excellence. We're going to meet William Shell Horse and take a practice run with him on the Prelude. But first, Tim Morton, who's commanding our story today, talked with people who've raced against Shell Horse, and Tim filed this background report.
He was born with the name of Sled, and it's caught on the water. Off the water, it's just Bill. Grew up in Tappahannock, Virginia, sailing sunfish and sailfish boats. His crew chief and tactician is Norfolk native Ron McLean.
Probably ought to, we'll get on by the club before we do it, because we say, let's get up and see what it's going to do when we get right outside.
The crew usually numbers 10. Today, making way for us, there are 7.
Not bad, man.
Well, Tim, Sled has a total package. He has a total commitment, and I think that's what every sailor that races a boat looks for, is a total commitment, a commitment in good sails on a boat, having a good boat, which Sled has, Sled being totally committed to excellence. Everything he does, he strives for that, and Sled's really a good sailor. He's been doing it a long time, and also he has one of the other major ingredients, and that's a total committed crew.
This is our number 2 gentleman. Got about 17 knots of true breeze now. We're going to go upwind, up towards the bridge tunnel, reach down beside the tunnel, set the spinnaker and come back down. Then we'll run back upwind again, down to the shoreline down here. Ready, man? Walter?
Yeah, man.
Everybody ready?
Ready.
Ready. Helms down.
This line's gonna go flying. We need to put another turn on you.
He has got a really good management program, and he's very well organized on his boat. Managing a boat that size with the number of crew he's got is a very difficult job, and millions of details that have to be taken care of. And you never have a problem on that boat with anything going wrong, because it's always taken care of ahead of time.
We're going to set the spinnaker, port pole, starboard set. The halyard.
It's easy. All right, check the 4 guys. Get both 4 guys in. The other 4 guy in.
I'm just going to do the guy. I'll take the sheet. Let's pre-trim the guy. Pre-trim the guy. I've got it off the top. Pull it out of the bag. Stuck on it. Ready on the halyard?
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Guys there.
Take the full left, Wally.
I've sailed with him and against him for about 14 years. And one thing, he keeps his cool. He doesn't do like the rest of us and jump up and down and scream. And he thinks things out, and usually, he doesn't always win, but usually he has a real good average.
Hey, Gilly, let's get the blade on deck. Set it up for starboard tack. We'll jive at the red line. Let's go, Gilly, let's go. 3 minutes. Let's go, boys. Let it go whenever you're ready.
Let it go. I'm not.
Keep it dry. Pull, boys, pull, boys.
You made some sales for him. What kind of sales were they, and why? And did he come to you? What did he say? What did he want?
Okay, we have made for him so far a staysail, a mainsail, and 2 Genoas. It's a constant thing to keep your boat up to the highest speed you can. The last sail we did for him, he said he got 3/10 more boat speed out of his boat than he ever had before.
We need power, Rob. We need power, buddy. We got it? Yeah. Might need to go back 1 notch over there. Come on, boys. We can't let him get us. Concentrate. Concentration. Concentration.
I get the impression that sailboat captains, when they lose a race, will bust up. They'll get mad, get angry, sulk. Is that what Sled Shell Horse does?
Well, Tim, I think every sailboat race skipper has an ego. We wouldn't do this sport without that. However, Sled has an ego just like the rest of us. However, Sled does not go high when he loses a race. More so than that, I think what he and his crew do is they sit back and learn from that loss and why didn't they win.
He's a first-class gentleman, and if he's as nice a guy to work for in his business as he is to sail for, then I think he ought to have a pretty good crew at his job also.
True wind 18 knots.
You're going to see this in the sea. Everybody, look at that Prelude sitting down.
Shell Horse's job is commercial site development. His company, Chesapeake Bay Contractors. Today's sail was merely a practice. 4 days after we went out with him, Shell Horse and the Prelude won the Cape Henry Cup race. To come in June is the International Newport, Rhode Island to Bermuda race. The Prelude finished second last year.
Sled Shell Horse is the skipper of this beautiful boat, the Prelude that we're sitting on. It's our pleasure, too, to introduce you to Ron McLean, who's the navigator. I think the first thing, gentlemen, that you ought to do for us is to tell us about this beautiful boat and what's so fantastic about it. Maybe I can help if I can ask you when it was built, how old it is, and how, I understand it's all wood. You covered in fiberglass. What other sailors would like to know about it, I think?
Well, we bought the, Ron and I, Ron's a yacht broker, and we bought the boat in England in 1984. It was built in '79 for the 1979 Admiral's Cup and commissioned then. But Ron and I went over and looking for a racing boat back when the pound was so weak and the dollar was so strong. Ron and I went over there and looked at several boats. And the last thing he said before he left England before I did, and the last thing he said was, "Don't buy that wooden boat." But I really fell in love with this boat strictly because of the way it looks, so I bought it after he left. We made an offer on another boat, but we ended up buying this boat, and I don't think Ron regrets it now. I think he's pretty satisfied that we made the right decision.
You do, of course, you said you did about the 2 major races a year. You're getting ready to go off and do the Newport, Rhode Island to Bermuda race in just a few weeks.
That's correct. Before that, Ron had done some Bermuda races. I hadn't raced to Bermuda before. I had cruised to Bermuda, but Ron had done, I think, 2 Bermuda races before we did the 1986 Bermuda race.
Ron, how do you plan the strategy for such a race like that? It's not like other things that you can plan for because so much comes into it. And it really is a strategy challenge, isn't it?
It really is a strategy thing, and you can't plan but so much until right at the moment because you might know ahead of time what the Gulf Stream's going to do, but you don't really know what the weather's going to do that leads you to the Gulf Stream. So you've got to have everything prepared, but be ready to change your game plan at the last minute depending on what the weather does.
I'd like to know something about how you got started in racing. You're both from around here originally.
Well, Ron is, I think you're a native from day one.
3 generations from right here.
How do you move up into cruising class? The challenge?
You start in small boats usually, and then as you get better and better, it seems Ron has we've been sailing together since 1984, sailed against each other for several years before that, and when I became interested in the larger boat, we teamed up, and so that's how he and I got together.
What's the size of a boat at which it's considered cruising class?
Well, anything from, in what we have here locally, gosh, from 20 feet to 45.
Yeah, I think around 25 feet is when they start thinking of the bigger, when people think about bigger boats, that's a cruising class, somewhere around 24, 25 feet.
Exactly.
But I think a lot of the people start in the smaller boats, in the sunfish and lasers, 14-foot boats, 11, 12-foot boats, to really learn the basics, so then they can start sailing the bigger boats once they learn those basics.
If you're doing 2 of the major races, the one we've talked about from Newport to Bermuda, where's the other?
Well, the other we did, the Newport to Bermuda race is every 2 years, and then in between is the Annapolis to Newport race, and so we do that. So that's really the second big race we do.
Is there anyone else from here that races against you as well that our audience might know?
Conway Britton is going to, as a matter of fact, we have a 3-boat team doing the Bermuda race this year, and it's we're doing it, Conway Britton with his boat named It's a Prelude, and a boat from Fishing Bay, which is not far from here.
We've spent a wonderful day here with you and on your boat, and I think this is the last show of this season that we're doing for this, and I think sitting here on this beautiful boat in Hampton, which is such a racing community, this is probably the best way we could have thought to do it, and so I'd like to thank you for letting us be here.
We hope this will help promote the whole sport to everybody. We have the greatest area of anywhere on the East Coast as far as we're concerned for sailing, and we'd like to see more people out doing it.
Really wish you luck in that race coming up very shortly, and thank you so much. Ron McLean and Sled Shell Horse.
Thank you.
We're full of songs on this edition of Our Place, Our Time, and we have with us a great lady of song, Connie Parker.
The very thought of you and I forget to do those little ordinary things not everyone ought to do. I'm living in a sort of daydream. I'm happy as a king, though funny, though it may seem to me, that's everything. The mere idea of you the longing here for you you'll never know how slow the moments go when I'm near to you. I see your face in every flower. Your eyes and stars above. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you. I know.
This gorgeous setting that I have the good fortune to be standing in shows you the Hampton River, the heart and highway of the old settlement of Hampton. And this is the last edition of Our Place, Our Time for this season, so we thought we'd take a look ahead at summer. Kim Simon's going to show you some one-day adventures and weekend adventures that you might like to put on your summer calendar.
Summertime is almost here, and I was wondering, just wondering, that maybe there was more to it than bathing, sunning, and sightseeing. Well, I didn't have to look far, as this area has a lot more to offer than the tourist guides suggest. Clear! Take rock climbing, for example. but not without a guide. I found trained experts at Adventure Sport, a Virginia Beach outfit that offers a variety of outdoor courses and programs for all levels of thrill seekers. They, should I dare say, showed me the ropes, the right ropes.
Actually, first off, we only rappel down on this rope. We're going to actually climb on this one.
Okay.
All right. Twin rope, real safe, and that's the way to have fun. So,
What do we do with this?
slide it up through here. We're going to make a connection between the harness and the ropes.
Okay.
Good.
Instructors Glenn Carlson and Linda Ellison gave me a short but thorough made-for-TV ground lesson on essential safety tips and techniques. And before long, I was all roped up with no place to go, but straight up.
Handholds and footholds and what to do to get up the rock. Got the rope on here, and contrary to popular belief, you climb the rock, not the rope. The rope's there to help you in case you slip, but you climb the rock.
Hands
you ready?
off, hands on,
Hands on the rock, hands off the rope.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go?
Yep.
All right. No hands. No rope. Where do I go from here? Oh.
Very good. Use your feet. Use your feet. Keep your feet on the wall. Oh, yes. Very good. Very good. Remember, climb with your legs, not your arms.
Well, I don't really know where to go from here.
Some handholds to your right. Right up, up. Nice. That'd be a nice push. Good, Kim. Use your legs. Step up on them. Nice. Look for those footholds. Nice.
Your hand switch.
Yeah. Now step across with that right foot and double them up.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm considering time too, yeah. Okay.
Swing out. Keep your feet on the wall. You'll see Linda. You'll notice a very fluid motion, really saving energy when she gets a good move. And you'll notice it's very dance-like. Does not have to be a real strength or muscle-oriented sport. It's very much a balance sport. And because you have that perceived anxiety, it really heightens your awareness and your senses, and you really feel alive. At the end of the day, you really feel like you've really accomplished something.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
No, but I did. For avid climbers like Ellison and Carlson, scrambling along ridges in the Peruvian Andes is feeling alive. For this first-timer, however, this Richmond rock quarry was just right. Looking for a little R&R, I inquired about a quiet ride down the nearby James River. My adventure sport guides were eager to oblige.
This isn't for TV, this is for real. This is for real.
In addition to rock climbing, Adventure Sport offers courses, clinics, and expeditions in whitewater kayaking, canoeing, and rafting, as far west as California and as close to home as the other side of the Richmond Quarry.
That's why we're standing here.
There were, of course, the mandatory safety tips and skills to be learned. A technique called the sea-to-sea roll, the basic boat rescue maneuver, and finally, how to abandon ship. Soon our tiny regatta was ready for a jaunt downstream. Nothing like the roar of a thundering current to make a girl wish she were back on some precarious rocky perch, high and dry. As my first kayak venture came to an end, I bid a fond farewell to the folks of Adventure Sport, who in such short order had turned me into a crocodile Dundeeette. They, however, continued to frolic in the froth of white water. If rock climbing or rough river riding isn't your idea of fun, then perhaps my next experience will help your spirit for adventure get off to a flying start with an introductory discovery flight. The plane, a Cessna 172. The place, the Mercury Flight Center at the Hampton Roads Airport, where for $20, willing participants can pilot their first discovery flight under the professional supervision of highly trained instructors. Of course, it isn't just a pop-in-a-plane proposition. My discovery flight began in the classroom, under the tutelage of Mercury Flight Center President Richard Music. There I learned about the 4 basic principles of flight: weight, lift, thrust, and drag.
Or you're flying straight and level, all four of these forces will equal out into a stability. So flying an airplane is going to be pretty much like balancing on the head of a pin.
The next step was a pre-flight inspection of the plane, which included everything from checking the fuel, wing, hinge pins and cotter keys, to the engine and propeller. A thorough once-over from top to bottom.
No cuts, no cords showing. Okay.
And then there was, of course, a cockpit full of controls yet to contend with.
Or rate of descent. So when you're in straight and level flight, it's going to indicate 0, isn't it?
Finally, with the systems all checked out, it was time for takeoff. Oddly enough, somewhere up there I lost sight of the airport, but music was quick to point the way and direct us back for our landing.
Intercom 83 Bravo, turning final, runway 28, full stop. And there's the airport. We want to roll out on final, lined up with the center line of the runway.
The Discovery introduction to flying was yet another fix of adventure. But if such daredevilish activity is not your idea of a relaxing day or weekend off, then perhaps a scenic ride along Virginia's back roads is. Bicycle touring is quickly becoming a great American pastime, as an increasing number of clubs and organizations are offering local, national, and worldwide vacation tours. Organizations like Open Road Bicycle Tours in Washington, D.C. take the worry out of cycling by providing skilled guides, planned routes, instruction and training for all levels of cyclists, as well as food and lodging for longer trips. Trips like the first Open Road sponsored tour across the Soviet Union. This particular excursion routed cyclists along the back roads of Middleburg, Virginia, the state's famed horse and wine country, for a weekend of scenic beauty. Cyclists set their own pace, stopping occasionally to refuel or simply to relax, and naturally to take in the sights and charms of the great outdoors. Virginia, from its coastal shores to its western mountain ranges, is a state rich in recreational resources. Organizations like Adventure Sport, the Mercury Flight Center, and Open Road Bicycle Tours offer custom-designed adventures for individuals of all ages. From all of us, here's to a safe and enjoyable summer.
This is the final program in our first season of Our Place, Our Time. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. We hope you've enjoyed watching it. Hope you'll be back next season as we begin to take another look at this wonderful place we live, Hampton Roads, on Our Place, Our Time.
Living in the sweet, sweet Virginia.